Welcome to Talkin VAWLS, Week 10. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm again Paper Bag JP.
Hi, my name's R-Main, and welcome to no, wrong show. I'm R-Main.
Well, boys, feels like it's becoming a weekly occurrence that we just sit down after a Tennessee loss. We're all miserable, and we talk about how Butch Jones is going to lose this week and get fired. But once again, somehow, somebody tell me how. Somebody explain to me how Butch Jones is going to be walking the sidelines this Saturday in Neyland Stadium. Can either one of you all explain that to me? Because I cannot for the life of me figure it out.
I have no explanation.
I've got nothing.
I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm about so frustrated and sick of it. 4 losses in a row, blown out by Georgia and Alabama. I thought somebody said, just look at the wins. Don't even look at the losses. Just look at the wins. Barely beat UMass, barely beat Georgia Tech, and then blew out an Indiana State team. I'm baffled. I'm baffled.
I mean, we fired a national championship coach with a 800% winning percentage for something that, I mean, heck, he didn't even lose to Kentucky. I said it, I told y'all today, flabbergasted. I mean, just would have never thought it. When that clock struck 0 Saturday night, I thought, well, at least we're done with Butch Jones and we can move on and see what this administration has up their sleeves. But obviously, we were all wrong about that. I don't get it.
I know rumors circulate, and you don't know what's true, what's BS. You know, we heard South Carolina, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt were the 3 games he had to win, right? Had to win them. Gets beat by South Carolina. It's like we spend all day Saturday. A lot of you guys were posting and tweeting and asking why the podcast wasn't up, and it was because we 100% believed that Butch Jones was going to be fired, and we wanted to wait and be able to cover that and talk about that. But just once again, nothing happens. Like I said, I know rumors are rumors, but still, you think South Carolina, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt, he has to win them, and he's lost the only 2 games out of those that he's played. But I don't know. I'm speechless, honestly. I don't even know what to say.
Well, I mean, I'm the same way. I've called it for weeks that he was going to be fired, and well, here he is having another 12 o'clock press conference like nothing ever happened. I don't understand what's going on. I think it's embarrassing. I think it looks bad right now, and it goes back to what we've said before. Regardless of whether it's the truth or not, this has the look of an administration that's content losing football games right now. Bottom line, I mean, they're 3-5 right now. Southern Miss, I don't know that that's a gimme. I don't think anybody's a gimme right now with this team. And how in the world he's still there? Why? I have no answer to it. I really don't. I don't know what Curry's thinking right now. Maybe he's got something up his sleeve, but I just can't believe. I don't understand why he's not pulling the plug on this now. There's no reason to let Jones coach another game. I think everybody in the country knows he's gone, including him probably, but yet he's still coaching. I'm the same as you guys. I don't get it.
I keep trying to console myself and say that Curry's got something cooked up, that he has a plan, and maybe it's timing issues or there's some reason why he's not doing it right now. But that's just me telling myself that so I don't sit here more irritated than I already am. But a lot of people are saying, well, you need to let him finish out the season. You know, what good does it do to fire him now? And let's talk about that. Let's talk about the pros and cons. I mean, I really don't know what the pros would be for keeping him. Yeah, he's not winning football games. It's clear that the team, I think he's lost the team. I think the guy at this point is a cancer to the program. And Rocky, you said it, man, weeks ago, that if you would go ahead and do it now, I think during the bye week, fire him now, get somebody in there that might just light a spark under this team and go get a bowl game. It's sad, but that's the reality we're facing. They're playing for a bowl game at this point.
Yeah, I think so, and I don't know if this administration's worried about a bowl game, is what it's showing me. I mean, I will say this: I thought they played hard Saturday night. They're just a poorly coached team. I mean, that's what it boils down to. So many mistakes. Just, time after time, big play and a silly penalty or something. So, I mean, it's obvious that it's just a poorly coached team. But, back to your original thing, the pros and cons, I don't see any pros to keeping him right now. I just don't see it. What's the crowd? I can't imagine it's going to be a great crowd on Saturday. And the people that's there, I think are, I think it'll almost be hostile in respect, because anytime a mistake's made, the boo birds are coming out this week. I've seen rumors about wondering who should be the interim, Hoken, Shoop, bickering over who it should be. Shouldn't be either one of them. It should be Gillespie, if anybody, as an interim. Something tells me he could light a fire under him right there. So I don't know. I mean, you can only afford one more slip up, and there's a good chance LSU's going to beat you. I don't know we can outscore Missouri right now. I think they can beat Vanderbilt and Southern Miss, but the other two they're going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like you said, there is not a gimme left on the schedule. I mean, they could lose the rest of the game. I mean, they got to show up and play. But I don't know. What are your thoughts, JP? I know you want to get rid of him, but to try to look at it from a neutral perspective, I mean, seriously, I know we all agree we all want him gone. Is there a single pro that you could think of as to why you would not fire him right now?
Well, the only explanation theory that I've heard that makes a little bit of sense to me is I do think the team is still playing. I think that they're still playing hard. I had concerns that after the Georgia game that wouldn't be the case, but like Rocky said, they are such a poorly coached football team that even though that they try, they still can't win, and that's just the facts there. It's evident in watching the games. But there's been theories saying that typically when a coach is fired in season that the interim may have a hard time keeping everybody focused, and the concern there is does the kids then do really quit? Do they quit going to class? Then, you got issues there. Do they quit doing their weekly lifting, which by the looks of the way they get pushed off the line of scrimmage, I'm not sure that's happening anyway. But, that's the only theory that I've got, because he's not winning football games, and the last time I checked, that's why that you play a game of any kind is to win. Maybe we're into giving participation trophies out down there now. I don't know. I'm just so frustrated with it. We've lived through 10 years of just absolute crap down there, and it's been going on and on and on, and we really don't see an end in sight. And usually, I always made it a point after every loss, after every win, sometime on Sunday, I would, put on something, Tennessee, whatever. Yesterday, I was like, I'm not doing it. I am not supporting that program one iota until they show and provide proof to me that they are committed, which I seriously have doubts that they are. I've got theories. I've got 3 theories on why Butch Jones is still the head coach. My number one theory, and I'm really concerned about it because I think it's true. I think that Curry and that administration has no clue. Just like the last 10 years and the last 2 athletic directors down there. I don't think that they have a clue what they're doing. I don't think that they understand. My number 2 theory is Curry is just the basically the face of the athletic program or the athletic department and everything, but he doesn't have any power at all. Somebody else is driving it, and that's why
somebody
he's been quiet.
with a lot of money in their pockets.
Yeah.
Somebody whose name rhymes with Maslam.
Yeah, who owns the NFL franchise that sucks. That's won like 1 game over the last 2 years or something like that. So if that tells you anything. And then my number three theory is, and probably like a 0.09% chance of this being true, is
I hope you say what I think you're going to say.
Is that Curry is a heck of a poker player, and he's got a big fish on the line. I mean, that's the only 3 logical explanations that I can give for any of this. Anything else, I don't understand. We saw what Florida did. I mean, my goodness. McElwain, yes. Everybody knew the last 2 years that Florida wasn't that good of a football team, but they still made it to the SEC championship game. They still won the SEC East that our coach couldn't do, even though that he had better talent. Yet Florida says, we've seen enough of this. We were absolutely embarrassed by Georgia on Saturday, and we kick our coach to the curb after 2.5 years. This is year 5. This is nothing but a dumpster fire. It is a roller coaster that has went off the tracks and is out of control. Yet we got an athletic department down there. We've got an athletic director that's not saying a freaking word. And here we are going to roll out this fundraising efforts to try to renovate Neyland Stadium on Saturday at homecoming, and they're going to trot out Butch Jones as head coach. I mean, it's comical. I mean, it's like, like I said, the only thing that I think that it is that they know that Tennessee is a loyal fan base, and they think that whatever that they can do, that there's going to be people show up. I hope like crazy that that's not the case Saturday. I hope like crazy.
My hope is your third option there. Not that I think he's got Gruden, but that he's got his guy. I hope that's what it is, and that's why I'm trying not to be hard or be against Curry at this point, because
I am. I'm done with him already.
Well, he doesn't. If he. Everything that we all just said is nothing but speculation. That's it. I mean, nobody knows what he's doing. So if he has a guy or he goes and gets a guy, then it'll all work out. But I don't know. I'm just trying to let it play out and not be negative towards him. I don't understand keeping Butch, but if he has a reason, and when all this is said and done and the smoke clears and the Rock stands on the middle turnbuckle and flips a belt. Anyway, when it's all said and done, then we can pass judgment at that point. But if we're not satisfied with the administration down there, it's like anything else in life. If I don't like something, then I shouldn't give it my money. I shouldn't support it. I shouldn't show up. They're starting the stuff with the hashtag Empty Neyland. JP and I talked a little bit about it off air. Rocky, what do you think about it? I think it would definitely make a statement to the administration that if they're not committed to winning football games, then we're not committed to filling up the stands. But at the same time, is it disrespectful to those kids and players who, like you said earlier, they did put forth an effort against Kentucky and that they are still playing hard?
I mean, I hate it for that reason, like you said, because these players, they're trying. I mean, they put in the effort Saturday night. Again, it just went back to, same mistakes, poorly coached. But I'm on the reason, too, of, the fans have, we've said it, we've lived through 10 years of just garbage, basically. And the fans keep showing up, keep supporting it. I mean, at some point, do the fans need to make a stand to get change? I mean, I don't know. I go both ways on it, but, there's a part of me would like to, maybe if we see about a half-empty Neyland Stadium, maybe that'll get that'll get it through to them at that point.
I know, but I mean, let's talking about the players. Yes, I hate it for them, and I hate that, if there's not a lot of fans there. I know, that's what, when you hear these kids talking about coming to Tennessee, they always talk about the atmosphere inside Neyland and the massive crowds and all that. So certainly, that's one reason why that these kids decide to come to Tennessee. And I hate that. And I hate that they're going to hear boos and all that and everything. But I also hate that they're getting crappy coaching. Because outside of Robert Gillespie, it is obvious that there is not a position group on that football team that is playing worth a darn. Maybe you could make a case for the defensive backs, the way that Galden's played and the way that, Nigel Warrior's played decent. I just think that he's just a straight up baller, though. Anyway, but outside of that, you tell me a position group that plays well. Outside of that, outside of the running backs and maybe a couple of our defensive backs, you tell me a
especially
position.
when you look at the expectation or the potential that's on that team.
Well, look at it. I mean, look at our defensive line. I mean, we've got 3 5-stars in Kongbo, Kyle Phillips, and McKenzie that started there Saturday night. We didn't collect a sack one. We did not collect a sack one. We did not get one single sack at all. And I know that Kentucky didn't throw the ball much, which makes it even sicker that we got beat, But that's what I'm saying. And don't even get me started with that offensive line. Oh, my God, mighty.
Well, and you're right. The secondary hasn't been bad. There's some players there, but, man, the rest of the position groups, it's just, the linebackers were pretty much non-existent Saturday night. They hardly had any tackles there. It's just, I don't know. I think, you mentioned about recruits. I always say the atmosphere. I don't know if many recruits will be there this weekend. So if fans are going to stay away, this will be the perfect weekend for it, in my opinion.
Well, I haven't looked at the forecast today, but I did yesterday, I think it was, and Saturday now is calling for thunderstorms. I see. Saturday rain is what they're calling for. 7:30 kickoff. Obviously, night game. We've lost 4 straight games. Been absolutely annihilated in 2 of them. Just lost to Kentucky for the second time in
33 years,
or 34 years, yeah,
34,
or 33 years, yeah. So do we really expect people to show up? And even the insiders, even people like Hubbs, who supposedly has inside information, which I'm not sure that I really believe that either. But
Sorry.
well, I'm just serious.
$9.99.
There's so much crap that's been thrown out down there. There's just so much crap, and he can get on that board and talk about how that he don't know this stuff, or that he can't, or that he can say whatever. That's bull. He's not going to say whatever, because he knows that he won't get the access that he gets. And I don't guess I can blame him, but just come out and say it, you know. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I don't even know what I was saying. I lost my train of thought. I have no idea. Y'all even remember what I was saying?
My fault.
Well, I mean, I mean, there's just nothing coming out right now. I mean, some of the 24/7 guys on there, they're not really. They're wondering, you know, why? Why is the? What else does this administration need to see at this point? I mean, who can be confident of another win with Butch Jones as coach right now? My only theory.
That's why I keep saying there has to be some. There has to be a reason.
One theory is it true that the buyout comes down November 1st?
I saw that was not true. Is it true?
Well, here's what happens. It's like a prorated, like. See, his contract, from my understanding, runs from like March 1st of each year through the end of February of each year. So if they buy him out now, then whatever, say at the end of October, well, that would be one less month that they would have to pay, basically, you know, on his actual buyout. So I've heard basically that it would save them roughly $200,000. That's a drop in a hat. So,
yeah, that's pointless.
Well, I mean, when you lose,
so I don't believe that's got anything to do with it.
No, I mean, not factoring in, you know, if that's all you're saving, and then you're going to lose your hind end Saturday on the game.
Oh, I know. That's what I said, you know. I mean, how in the world do they expect, with Curry not making any, I mean, even if they had came out yesterday and said, Butch Jones is gone at the end of the season, but we're going to try to make a bowl game. We're going to leave him in and let him coach the rest of the year. All right. That might actually generate some excitement, and people may actually show up on Saturday.
I don't
but you're
know.
sitting here
I don't know.
and,
What would you do if your boss came in and said, JP's not performing very well, we're going to fire him in 2 months, so you guys rally behind him and send him out on a high? I don't know that works. But I think he's been told that behind the scenes. I think Butch knows he's done. But
I'm not saying that Butch would get better, because it's obvious. I mean, you ain't gonna get better overnight being a coach.
But calm the fan base down.
Yes, yeah. You know, that's what I'm saying. Why are we sitting there? Why is the administration? Why is Curry and them just sitting there and just letting all of this build up? I mean, just like build up. I mean, it's almost like, you know, you saw that. We all saw Golden, you know, throw the double bird at the Alabama fans. That's almost or to me, that's what Curry and that administration is doing to the fan base right now.
Dauber sent me a meme today. Did he send it to you?
Yeah.
Where Golden was flipping off Butch at the press table.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if it could be a case where, like you mentioned there, if they come out and said, well, he's going to be out, but he's going to finish the season. You know, you may get a little excitement there. He may even get the fans' kind of sympathy in a respect on that to back him the rest of the way, and because they're like, well, hey, he's gone anyway. So, but I mean, I don't either. You know, I'm just kind of grasping at straws here, but you know, I'm sitting around just twiddling my thumbs, kind of like our administration is doing. But
that's why that nobody can give a good explanation as to why that Jones is still the coach, and if he is still the coach, why on earth has this administration just sat back and let this fester and fester and fester?
Yeah, I mean, people are getting pissed.
Well, I know.
I mean, that's
and I mean, it's like, what else is it going to take? I mean, we lost to Kentucky. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. That's why is he going to just finish out the year? I mean, you said 4 losses in a row. My gosh, you might as well call it 6. that UMass game, I know I've harped on it probably more than the Alabama and the Georgia game, but that's a loss, man. You don't beat UMass 17-13, and then the Florida loss right before that. I mean, we have seen horrible football, all season. It's just been all season long, and everybody's fed up and done. And like you said, they have all the facts they need. I really think he's going to coach the rest of the year. I do. I really.
Well, yeah.
My biggest fear is he is going to coach the rest of the year. And Florida, like you said, they're on the ball, and they said this is not acceptable, and so they fire your old boy, the Swamp Donkey, and they're going to go out and hit a home run, and it's going to set Tennessee back because Georgia's on fire. Georgia is lighting it up on the recruiting trail. They're lighting it up on the field. Man, this is a dangerous time for Tennessee. We talked about it being the biggest hire in our lifetime, and it is. And now throw in the fact that Florida is going to be hiring a coach at the same time. That's scary. For Tennessee.
Yep. Well, I mean,
but we just sitting there and just we're sitting there and just letting old Butch, just ride it out. It certainly sounds like to me that we don't give a crap. I mean, that's certainly what it appears to me.
That's what it comes off to me too. If you were serious about trying to win, you'd do something about it right now. Instead of, again, who's confident he can win another game right now? And these players could use an extra 15 practices. I mean, that's a bowl game's a bowl game nowadays. That's just the way it is. And we've had our share of years without them, but mediocrity is what it strikes me as they're striving for right now. They're striving for mediocrity. Maybe it's a case where they're trying to line somebody up, a big fish or something like that. There's only a couple guys they could technically line up right now anyway.
Right now? I know.
The rest are coaching, so I don't have much else to add, honestly, because I don't know what the hell they're thinking down there.
Well, let's have some fun. Let's just have some fun then. If nobody's got anything else to say, let's talk about John Gruden. I mean, is it the fact, man? I don't believe. I know we joke and we kid, and JP gets me fired up, and then I start believing, and then I talk myself off. But is it possible? Is it possible?
I don't know.
Anything's possible.
I would have to see it to believe it too. But man, I don't know. The stuff that starts going around, and you hear that they're making him offers, and then right before we get on, Albert Haynesworth, which I know he's an idiot, but he's tweeting and talking about how if this gets botched, it's 100% on the administration, and then he put in all caps again. And JP, you brought it up on here before, saying that Gruden was so close to being a done deal. I don't know what to believe and what not to believe. But if he does, do you believe that John Gruden can win? That's when you talk about there's two people, him and Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly's proven a winner in college football. John Gruden's never coached as a head coach in college football. Will he do what it takes to recruit? I mean, I don't know.
I think he would. Here's what I go back to. Of course, being a Raiders fan, I've seen up and close and personal what he could do for years there. The guy can develop talent. Now, I know it didn't end well for him in Tampa, but I guarantee our quarterbacks will look better. Guarantee the offense will look a whole lot better. And I would about guarantee he'll bring in a staff that's capable of developing players. Just the way you see him interact with these kids on the Gruden camp and all that, I would think if he puts effort in, he would be a hell of a recruiter. But, there's the unknown. You just don't, like you said, you don't know because he hasn't been a head coach in college. And he's been out coaching for, close to 10 years now?
Yeah.
But I tell you what, and that's a huge if. And honestly, deep down inside, I don't believe it.
But
I can hope.
We're all depressed. That's why I said let's have some fun.
Well, but what I'm saying is, is I have zero worries if John Gruden was on the sidelines coaching at Tennessee that we would fail, because college football is probably 75 to 80% having the studs and the players, because it's totally different from the NFL, where there's parity. Everybody, is pretty much on the same playing level, unless you got a Haslam as an owner. All of the organizations are pretty much on the same playing level. It's all about the recruiting. That article from 2008 from Forbes magazine that talks about Bama and when they hired Saban said, that's what he preferred about the college game over the NFL. Basically that he only got one first-round pick each year in the NFL, and if he done well, it was a late round pick. He said in college, I can go out and sign 10 potential first-round picks every single year. And that's what he's doing, and that's why he's dominating. Do you all really think that Nick Saban is that much better of a football coach than all of these other coaches? I don't.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I do.
I think that you could probably take 75% of the coaches and put that type of players underneath them, and they would have similar success.
But he didn't start with that. He built that. And I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. He's built it through recruiting.
That's a part of the game. That's part of it.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is if all of these coaches could recruit at the same level that Nick Saban is, then they would be good as well. That's what I'm saying.
Good, but not.
But here's the thing,
he's the
man.
Greatest,
he proved it at
he's
LSU.
He
won at Michigan State. He won at LSU. He's won at Alabama. It's hard to question what he's done.
Yeah.
Look at his record at Michigan State.
Well, he evidently did something right to get moved to LSU. I don't care what his record was there. The bottom line is the guy can coach. I'm not going to sit here and say just because he recruits well is the only reason he can coach. He's going down as probably one of, if not the greatest college football coach there's been.
I never said that he couldn't coach.
But you're saying 75% of guys could do as well, and I just disagree with you on that.
All right. In 95 at Michigan State, he was 6-5-1.
Again, I don't care what he did at Michigan State.
In 96 at Michigan State, he was 6-6. 97, he was 7-5. 98, he was 6-6, and he finally won 9. He went 9-2 in 99, and then LSU hired him. Okay, so the first 4 years, he did no better than 7-5. Okay. I guess I don't guess he had the players up there, did he?
Well, the first 4 times I played golf, I shot 120, but I dang sure don't shoot 120 now.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. I'm
like
not
Rocky
saying,
said, we can agree to disagree, but it's hard to argue that he's not. He's definitely the greatest college coach of our lifetime.
So what you guys are telling me, that Nick Saban could take Kentucky's or even Tennessee. Let's say that Nick Saban could take a team that finishes consistently in the top 15 to 20 recruiting nationally each year and do what he's doing right now.
I think if Nick Saban came to Tennessee next year, that they'd be competing within 2 years.
Well, I'm not doubting that at all.
Does the fact that he has a roster loaded full of 5 stars help? Absolutely, it helps.
Exactly.
But that's
is
the
big
part
reason.
of the process. That's part of the process. He has built his staff. You can't argue with his body of work.
I'm not, guys.
You know, let me just say this.
It's arguing it right now.
It's a sad day for humans when we're arguing over Nick Saban.
I know. Well,
on Talkin VAWLS.
Getting back to the Gruden thing. That's why I think that John Gruden could be successful, because he is a good football coach. Like Rocky said, he can develop. But fellas, he would have 5 stars falling all over him, like the high school stud quarterback does all the girls. I mean, the guy has such a reputation and is well known and is the face and everything. He wouldn't even have to hardly do much recruiting at all.
At first, his name would do a lot, but he's got to be able to do it on the field, or that's going to fade out.
Yeah. Well, I agree. He signs 2 or 3 recruiting classes, and I guarantee you that we're competing for the SEC East. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, you just ain't going to beat these teams with a bunch of 3 stars. You just ain't going to do it. That's why that people like Vanderbilt and now Tennessee, we suck, because Saban's down there running roughshod, because he signs 85% of his freaking roster is made of 4- and 5-star recruits. And it's the same thing that's happening down at Georgia. You know, Georgia had talent. They just never had a coach that could maximize it. And I guess that it's still out.
I'm confused by that statement alone. So Saban's competing because he has talent, but Georgia's not competing and they have talent. So which is it, the coach or the talent?
It is a combination of both. I'm not saying that I could go down there with a bunch of 5 stars and just automatically just start winning. I'm not saying that. You guys thinking that I'm sitting here saying that Nick Saban sucks as a head coach. Absolutely not.
You're not saying that he sucks, but I don't think 75% of the coaches in America could do what he's doing.
I'll say this:
with that
talent,
maybe
kind of bothers me.
Maybe 50%.
Well, this is something you mentioned about Smart down there doing what he's doing, and I was reading the other day, and maybe I just forgot this, but apparently when UT was hiring Butch, some of the boosters wanted Smart down there. Maybe you guys remember this, and apparently Smart wanted the job too, but obviously Hart decided to go with Butch. So, boy, that makes you feel good now, knowing that happened, seeing what Smart's doing with Georgia down there, because I think he would have gotten the talent to Tennessee too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The only thing about it is, I mean, it's easy now looking at it that's
problem
sucks,
is,
but then
it was
a gamble.
Smart would have jumped to Georgia the first chance he got. We all know that.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. Him being a Georgia grad and all, but I mean, if it's not, I'm like you. I think Gruden. There's the part of me wonders how he would really do, but I gotta think he would recruit like a wild man down there just on his name alone. I mean, he's the face. Been on Monday Night Football for years now. He interacts with these recruits a lot. He interacts with these guys coming into the NFL, kind of coaches them a little bit with his camp and all that. I would think that he's going to recruit like wildfire to come out with. Now, if he's not winning, that may take a hit, but in a couple years, and again, I've said it before, I think a good coach can come in and win some games next year. I think there's going to be talent there.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. I mean, based on who we're losing, I don't know that we're losing anybody that's going to kill them unless we get an early departure or two, but I don't see anybody that would be making a wise decision to leave early. I definitely don't, not unless they just transfer. And that's the thing that worries me with Butch sticking around. How many's going to transfer out before he gets gone unless they already know it. But, I mean, if it's not Gruden, and I've seen stuff that Kelly probably not going to get a call. Again, who knows? These so-called there's so many insiders come out when a coaching search.
God, it's amazing.
It is, man. It's amazing. But who else would be on your guys' list? That, let's say it's not Gruden, it's not Kelly. Where do you go at that point?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's, we talk about it has to be a home run hire, but after you get past that, I don't think there is a known
You
home
just
run
put their
hire.
name in you put their name on a piece of paper and you draw it out of the hat, because that's pretty much the way it is.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be a gamble.
It's just a crapshoot. It is. It's just an absolute crapshoot at that point in time. You hear people on the Scott Frost bandwagon. Well, yeah. I guess we could give him a shot, but you don't know. There's nothing out there says that he's going to be an absolute success. You hear about Mike Norvell. You hear about him. You've heard about possibility of Greg Schiano coming back, being a head coach, and he might be a likely candidate. Just like I said, just put their name in the hat and just draw one out. I guess that's the only thing that I can say. I just don't.
You're dropping all the message board names, right? That's all the names you're hearing that are floating around, and it's not one single name excites you.
No, there's one that I would consider just packing my stuff on is if they bring in Bobby Petrino. Surely to goodness they're not going to go that route, and you see people mention that name, but
he's tanked too.
He has.
Good Lord. West, they got drubbed by Wake Forest on Saturday.
Hell, if you're going to go that route, I'd just soon bring Dave Clawson in as Bobby Petrino.
The claw fence?
Well, let's face it, though. Clawson's turned out he's not really a loser. He did decent at Bowling Green. He's doing decent at Wake Forest. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that's who I want, but if we're going to go the Bobby Petrino route, there's plenty of people. I'd just assume they bring Derek Dooley back as to bring in Bobby Petrino.
Oh yeah.
What do y'all think about Mike Leach?
I sign him up. He's a good football coach. I think that he'd have another one of them, where defense would get absolutely murdered and stuff. But
my thing with that is
probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
he
brings that offense and puts points on the board. Go spend freaking money and bring in a top defensive coordinator and let them do their thing. That's the thing.
We done that with Shoe.
Yeah.
Well,
we saw how that.
I don't know, man. I don't hate on the guy. Obviously he for some reason cannot stop the run, which I don't know why, but I don't know.
Jumper.
I don't think. Well, there you go. Stuff like that, man. I don't know. I can't explain that, but I don't think he's awful. But he definitely is not the top defensive coordinator we thought.
Well,
he was.
Jancic was better than him. Maybe it helped that Jancic had Reeves, Maben, and Sutton healthy the whole time. Them two made a big difference, but I don't know that you can tell me that. Well, he had Barnett, which was big. Barnett did good for Shoop, too. But other than that, I don't know that Jancic had any more talent to work with than, say, Shoop. Maybe he did. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But still, yeah, Jancic did a better job. Obviously, that Florida game was a debacle with all the fourth downs given up. But Shoop has not earned his money at all, in my opinion.
I just think that it goes back to lack of player development.
It does. It absolutely does.
We talked about it. There just hasn't been any. I could have. When we signed that Kyle Phillips, man, I thought, man, we got us, another stud. He's going to come in and be similar to Barnett, perhaps. Not saying that he would be him, but
I was right there with you.
No, but when you fill a recruiting class with guys like that, and Shy Tuttle and McKenzie, there shouldn't. I know Barnett was a special kid. There's no doubt about it. But the drop-off shouldn't be that drastic.
But the thing with Barnett, he wasn't rated nearly as high as Phillips or I don't
No,
even know
no,
he was
no,
rated as
no,
high
he
as
was just a
Darryl
4-star.
Taylor or either. I mean, Taylor was rated pretty high too, but I mean, Barnett definitely. If you went back and re-ranked that one, he's a high 5-star, no doubt about it. I mean, no doubt. But
Yeah, there ain't
it's
no doubt about it.
the player development has been the thing. I mean, who is honestly, you could name a handful of guys that's gotten better down there in that time. Other than that, it just hasn't happened. I mean, none of our quarterbacks have developed. Offensive line has been stuck in the mud for I don't know how long. Now nobody's developed. I mean, when your best offensive lineman is a true freshman, and you're full of guys that's been there for years, that ought to tell you something right there. Receivers suck. I'm just gonna be honest. They hadn't done squat right there. I mean, the only, and you've mentioned already, the only coach that's earned his money and shown anything's Gillespie down there. Those running backs are developing. They're looking good. Just need something to go around them.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you can throw other names out. I'll go on the coach. I mean, it's mentioned Frost, Norvell, which I've heard him mention at Florida as well. Mullen has been a name mentioned quite a bit. Campbell at Iowa State's making a name for himself right now. I mean, he's doing pretty good. There's, unless you got
Brom, Jeff Brom. You've heard his name that's been brought up.
I don't know why, but I like his name. But again, it doesn't
none of those
excite
guys
me.
make you excited.
Yeah.
And that's like I've said on here before. We hire somebody like that. Don't even start with about how we're going to do until you win the SEC East. Don't even go there.
A name I thought of
I'm not getting sucked in.
I don't know if he would be considered or anything, but Sarkisian. Remember, he was at USC. Of course, his troubles got him run off, but he went to Bama and then went to the Falcons offensive coordinator. Is that right? I don't know that would even be considered, but that'd be kind of an interesting name, I think.
Yeah. What about Kiffin?
I had a buddy of mine who's dead set he doesn't think Kiffin will be the coach, but he's dead set Kiffin could come in and kill it down there right now.
No, if Kiffin, if he hadn't it's not even the fact that he left. That ain't even what concerns me.
It was how he left.
What? No, not even that. Like, whatever. I just don't think he's as good of a coach as I thought he was when he was at Tennessee.
He's a heck of an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Exactly. But I don't think he would be a great head coach.
He don't have it between the ears. He don't have the discipline that it would take to be a head coach.
I mean, how did he botch being at USC? I mean, good gosh.
I mean, they had them sanctions and stuff against them, but still, he had talent out there. He had plenty of talent.
Yeah. He's not everywhere he's been. He's not proven anything to me. Yeah. I thought probably one of his best seasons was with Tennessee. I mean, he made something out of nothing.
Well, and he blew some games too, though. I mean that. But you got to give him credit too. We thought Crompton was he turned Crompton around and got him drafted. I mean, so the guy's a good offensive mind, great offensive coordinator. I just don't. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't.
No, there's no way.
I don't think as a head coach.
He's a better chance at Butch Jones as coach.
I think so too. The way he left, I can't see him ever bringing him back or anything. Now I think if he did come back second time around, I think he'd be dialed in. But like you said, I don't know that he's got it between the ears. I think something's off with. I think he's got a screw or two loose.
Dude, just go look at his Twitter page. It's obvious he has a screw loose.
But I just don't. I mean, my thought is Florida's probably gonna get Mullen. Is my thought. Yeah. But I've seen before where Foley didn't want him. Of course, Foley's not there anymore. But I wonder how much say-so he's still got down there, contributing or anything. So if it's not Foley, if they do, I've seen Norvell mention that leaves us still. I mean, I think that could be worse for us right there if Florida went that route. Mullen, I know a lot of people thinks he could come win at Tennessee. I don't know. He's done decent at Mississippi State. I think he's probably hit his ceiling there for what you can do at Mississippi State. So who knows?
He would be better than what we got right now.
No doubt.
But is he going to be able to consistently compete with Florida, probably with what they're going to get potentially as a coach? Would he be able to compete consistently with Georgia and Bama? I mean, whether or not that we want to accept it or not, that's what this program is up against. And I think that's why there's so many people that just really don't have a whole lot of hope right now, especially when you throw out names like Brom and Frost and Norvell and all of those people. You're like, well, he ain't going to be able to come in and compete against Saban on a regular basis, or what Kirby Smart's building down there in Georgia and stuff. I mean, that's just where it is. And, you know, heck, maybe the administration's right. You know, maybe they've already thrown in the towel, and maybe that's what they just expect us as fans to do too. I don't know.
I think my opinion is you've got to go out, and you mentioned it. Is the goal to compete with Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, or is the goal to lose those 3 games per year and beat your Kentuckys and South Carolinas and all that? That's going to determine where you go with your hire.
Got to figure out a way to beat Kentucky and South Carolina
it
first.
wouldn't have taken much to have beaten either one of them. Anybody that had a little bit of sense, I think, could have beaten definitely South Carolina. I don't think either team is terrible. Obviously UT's not any good either, but you've got to go out and try to get a guy that you think can compete with Bama, Georgia, and Florida. That's the whole point of even hell. If you're going to do that, you might as well keep Butch Jones, but he's gotten point he can't beat them either. But that's got to be your goals, to get a guy in that can get you back to compete for championships again, not just competing for Outback Bowls and Music City Bowls.
Well, shoot, Butch said Saturday night after the game that the focus was to, get this team and get this program back to a bowl game this year, because that's what they deserve. Really?
Well,
really? Like I give a crap about the Birmingham Bowl?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I can't.
Get out of here.
Birmingham Bowl or Liberty Bowl or something. I mean, that can't be the focus down there. There's got to be, you got to identify the guy that can get you back to competing with the big boys.
Yeah. Speaking of the rumors and the groomers and stuff, have y'all heard the one that basically that the big money boosters are basically holding the university hostage?
I have seen a little bit of that.
Yeah, basically that they've told them that they're tired of it, and that they want to win at football, and they're willing to pay that. Supposedly that's where the $10 million thing to Gruden came from, and all that stuff. But basically they gave the university the ultimatum and said that you either get on board with this and that you do everything it takes to make it happen, or we're pulling all of our money out.
Good.
And that we're no longer going to support it.
They need to write the biggest, fattest check possible and go get a coach. I'm so tired of hearing about money and buyouts. Money ain't a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. It better not be a problem.
Not with all the deals.
Or
all these TV deals and all that stuff. I can't see where it's a big issue down there. I really can't.
There's no way that it is. There's no way that that's an issue.
I mean, I've seen that money is not going to be an issue. And I've even seen that it wasn't an issue the past couple. I don't know that I agree with that. But, I mean, if they almost had Gruden wrapped up and he just didn't come, maybe that was the case. But
supposedly that Butch was the eighth coach that we went after last time.
That's
Well,
sad.
you know, they apparently went after Gruden. They went after Gundy pretty hard, I think.
Gundy.
They went after,
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
all thought Charlie Strong was coming, and he backed out last minute.
Yep.
So that's at least a few, and I don't know who else. I can't remember who else was mentioned at that point in time, but yeah, I've seen that. He was way down the line, too. Right there.
Didn't at that time, wasn't Muschamp still a defensive coordinator, or was he at Florida?
I think he was at Florida. Yeah, he was at Florida then
Was
because he was coaching there when at least Dooley's last year, if not the
Yeah.
2 prior years.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, who knows? I don't know. I'm just fed up with it. I know that.
Well, I mean, nobody knows. That's the problem. You know,
No.
we get on the
That's the
message
problem.
boards and you hear so much crap and it stirs up so much stuff, but nobody knows
Nobody
unless they're
knows.
on the inside. But
It was absolutely crazy there yesterday evening when Mike Griffin tweeted out, that the administration was, deciding on Butch Jones's immediate future and all that. I mean, they got on there and it was like a whirlwind. They was a team
seen
meeting
team meetings,
coming
yeah.
down. It was.
I was getting all
blah,
fired up
blah.
because the normal Monday press conference isn't scheduled. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, there's smoke. There's smoke.
Yeah, I do think something was in the works. I don't know why that it got nixed, but I do think something was up because I will say that old Mike Griffin has been the one that's kind of been Butch apologist. He's been on his side. So it was surprising that came from Mike Griffith. Supposedly that there was other media personnel that was alerted that there could be, to be on standby. So I don't know why it got nixed, but I do feel like that there was something coming last night. And for whatever reason it didn't happen because even Hubs claimed that the coaches meeting hadn't happened yet, and that was odd. That usually that they would had already met.
Yeah,
So-
like you said, the rumors of team meetings at 8:00 and 8:30
Yeah.
rolls by
Yeah.
nothing, and then all of a sudden the update I see is, well, it looks like Butch is going to be coaching against Southern Miss. So it's like you said, there's so many. Who knows who's an insider and who's not anymore? I mean, it's just everybody's just throwing stuff against
Nobody
the wall,
knows.
see what'll stick.
Yeah.
Well, let's segue into Southern Miss and then get out of here. 7:30 on Saturday, SEC Network. Man, these 7:30 games are awful. By the time it rolls around, and my mindset towards Tennessee football, it's terrible. But I'm not even going to pretend to have even looked at anything. I don't know. Let's make predictions. Tennessee, Southern Miss. Rock, you're up first.
I really don't know much about Southern Miss. Last I seen, I think they're 5-2. I don't know if they played this past week. That really tells you how much I care about them as an opponent. I don't know. I'll throw something. I'll be like always, so-called insiders. I'll throw something against the wall, see if it'll stick. I'll say Tennessee 27, Southern Miss 21.
JP, what do you got?
I don't know anything about Southern Miss at all. I'll admit it too, other than they lost Saturday by 18 points to UAB. I just saw. Didn't UAB drop their football
they
program
sure
like
did.
2 years ago?
I didn't even know they were back. I didn't even know they had put the team back together.
And North Texas beat them by about 22 points, it looks like, or 25 points or something. Wow.
Now, didn't they play
So, yeah,
Kentucky
they're not very-
earlier on?
First game of the season, they only got beat by 7 points. I thought, I know we didn't even talk about the Kentucky game, but I thought again that the running back showed something, and I thought that I could see Garantano starting to get better and get a better feel of it. So,
I'm starting to love that kid more and more each week.
Somehow Tennessee scores 30 points and Southern Miss scores 26. I don't know.
Well, how about this? Hadn't we all picked Tennessee to lose like the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they just keep losing? Let's break the dang streak. Tennessee 27, Southern Miss 14. Vols finally get back in the win column. But that's it. It's late. I'm tired. That's going to wrap it up for Talkin Vols week number 10. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter or give us a like on Facebook at Talkin Vols _pod. Leave us a comment. Let you know what you think. Let us know what you think about Gruden or John Curry. What's he doing, and how is Butch Jones still on the sideline? Leave us a comment. Let us know. For Vols, JP, and R Main, I am Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
Jack Kerouac, he drank himself to death in New England, and I'd like to take his hand and say, Jack, man, it's okay. Now he's gone, and we're left to move on without him. Songs howl like being poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home. And it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. And white headlights pierce the coals, blazing arrows, burning me to the marrow. But fire brings peace as well as it brings fear. You're the only thing I hear, and I want that.